Hey, happy Friday, everybody. I wanted to actually use an emergency broadcast alert at the beginning of this video, but I couldn't because it was horizontal and this video is vertical. Social media problems. But I wanted to use it because I really wanted that sound that goes, rah, rah, rah. This is an emergency broadcast from Secret Stories World. And then I wanted to have like that whole video graphic on so that I could get everybody's attention, because this may be really helpful for some folks. It may be already known for others, but for those that have been posting about being worried to jump in and start with the secret stories because you're afraid you won't do it right, or you're afraid your kids aren't going to be ready, or there's so much going on in the first week, or you have so many new programs happening right now, I just wanted to say one thing, and hopefully this is really going to help. Secret stories are not skills. I know it seems like they are, but they're not. They're not skills. They're not phonics. They're behaviors. Secrets are just behaviors. Things we all do, things we've all felt or experienced or can empathize with. They're just behaviors. And the best part is they're behaviors kids already know. How it feels when you're in a car that stops. How it feels when you are at the front of the line and you know everybody's watching and you do a great job as the perfect line leader. Or what you know you can get away with when you're at the end of the line and you are the caboose and you have some freedom to behave a little differently maybe when you're back there. Or how it feels to have a crush on someone and get embarrassed. Or how it feels when you know you have to listen to an authority figure that's very close by and telling you what to do. Or no one nearby, so you don't have to. Or what happens when that person leaves and another authority figure comes, like when the principal steps in but the teacher stepped out. The rules don't change, kids still know, got to do the same thing, which is whatever they tell me. All of these things are stuff that kids already know. So they're not skills. They're not even things you're teaching. They're not even new behaviors. They're old stuff, things that are deeply entrenched in their thinking networks already. It drives their behavior every day. These are the navigational systems. Pretty much in a nutshell, what the secrets are, they're targeting their tattling centers. So if your kids can tattle right now, they're ready for secrets. If your kids can tell you who's not allowed to sit together because they don't get along and they always fight and somebody gets hurt and says, ow. Or if your kids can tell you who shouldn't sit together but doesn't listen and so they keep getting together anyway and they stick up their tongues and go, if your kids can tattle, they're ready for secrets. They're ready for secrets. Now, there's only one catch here. You have to have all the posters up because you can't tell a secret, which is only something they already know, and actually connect it to what the gold is for, which is a tool to read and write, unless you have the poster up, because the poster is what powers up the behavior. So yes, kids already know how to stick out their tongue and go, they know that. It's of no value unless it's tied to the grapheme, to the phonics pattern. They don't have to know it's a phonics pattern. They don't have to know it's a T or an H on the wall. I mean, they will if you're doing the Better Alphabet song every day, twice a day, but they don't have to be done with that or even know a T from a cupcake to see the picture of T and H with their tongue sticking out and know is what they're doing, because they do it themselves and they've done it since they were 2 or 3. So for those who have posted, oh my gosh, I told my kids on the first day of school about the letters in love and I didn't even think it like hit a chord. And then the next day they came in and they were telling me about the letters that were in love and they were pointing to it and they were making the sound. That's the perfect thing. Or I think I saw somebody else talking about the superhero vowels and they happened to tell them about the superhero vowels and they're short and lazy disguise. That's a bucket kids already know. That's a familiar framework. All kids know about superheroes, and they know superheroes have superpowers. And they know superheroes have superpowers, but they can't be recognized. So they have a little disguise that they'll wear so no one can see them. This is a familiar framework of understanding that kids already have. All you're doing is pouring into that familiar framework these pieces of the code that follow exactly the same rules and the exact same line of logic. That's it. So as easily as it is for kids to tell you about Superman and what his powers are and what his disguise is, they can tell you about superhero E and what her power is and what her disguise is. The application is where developmental readiness comes in. Some kids will just chew on the secret. They'll incubate the secret. They'll just go E or 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 whatever the story may be. And they'll do it just as well as the high kids who are ready to roll. What they may or may not do at the same time, actually what they absolutely will not do at the same time, is apply it. Not all kids will see the forest through the trees and immediately plug in that pattern to read a word or to spell a word. But that's where you come in, because if all the posters are up and you're tossing out a secret where you need one, then you're modeling what it's for, where it goes, what it does. You're right there connecting the dots and letting that developmental readiness of cause and effect kick in when it does. But in the meantime, you're not slowing anybody down, you're not holding anybody back, and you're not putting yourself in your own way. And that's what happens if you say, well, my bulletin board's 6 by 6, so I guess I have room for 6 secrets posters, so I'll put these up. You can no more control what sounds kids need when they're trying to read or write than a magic genie. It's just not possible. Could I pick 6 sounds for you to have for the first few months of school? I'll give you an ow, an ing, an or, an and an ah. Like, there's no way. Just the names of the kids alone are going to thwart that, let alone the months of the year, or your sight words, or the lunch menu, or what's in your reading series. I mean, text is everywhere. So you can't control what they need when they need it. All you can do is be ready, have those posters up, and then let it roll. And I'll tell you one more thing. Amy Mitchell, who's in this group, told the cutest story at a PD. She said she had a little girl, and it was a special little girl, and they've been working all year long on individual letters and sounds. She came to a conference, and it was at Thanksgiving. And right before Christmas break, she tested her again on those individual letters and sounds. And I think this was a first grader. And she got, I think, 14 in the couple of weeks, just a couple of weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas, because that is how fast the Better Alphabet song works, because it's just muscle memory, no cognitive processing at all. Just muscle memory. Same way kids can sing Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the water spout and not even use real words. Their lips, tongue, and teeth will do the work. So she'd been doing that. And she'd also talked about Mama E and the babysitter vowels and sneaky Y, because this little girl was in a regular class. So when she got to the Y, the little girl said, do you know what this letter says? And the little girl said, no. So Amy got ready to cross off the letter from the little assessment sheet. And the little girl put her hand on Amy's hand. And she said, but I do know that he's sneaky, and I know he took the capes. I know he took E and I's cape, and he has their power, and he can make their sounds. But I don't know what Y says. She knew so much, but she didn't know what it was for. And that's fine. That's exactly what we want. That's a buffet where you're laying it out. You're not slowing it down and trying to control who gets what and when, because they're not skills. And that's the hardest thing for our teacher brain to grab, is these aren't skills. There are no grade level walls. We can treat things with common sense, which is, I need what I need to do what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm sorry, Lily, you can't know why there's no E at your name until another 3 years from now when it shows up on the pacing guide. No, your program is your program, and that is going to move in a sequential order. Whatever your reading program is, or whatever the things your district gives you, you will follow that. But the secrets are the muscles that let you milk the maximum value out of your program. The program's going to give you your safety net. That is, if all else fails, you better at least be here. It's not the teacher, though. You should never wait for your program to give kids what they need to do what they're already doing in your class, to read the word how, to read the word she, to read the word my. So many words that otherwise would be sight words to be memorized by heart can just be read, because kids can be given in that moment what they need to do it. And unlike the Better Alphabet song, the secrets you get immediately. You know the thing that salesmen say when you buy a car, you can walk out the door with it. You walk out the door with a secret. When you tell kids about OUOW, ow, and you show them that picture, or when you tell kids about the two letters that aren't supposed to sit together, because that's what they do, but they don't listen because they sit together all the time in every book on every page, you're walking out the door with that. Kids can instantly see those tongues out, sticking out from T and H, and know is the sound. Or if you go, they can find the letters that make it. It's instant, it's easy. Better Alphabet song's going to take 2 weeks to maybe 2 months. So that actually becomes the hard part, and the phonics skills become easy. It's all upside down and backwards when you teach with the brain in mind. And that's what we're doing. We're just using brain plasticity against itself. We're tapping into those earlier developing centers that are the social and emotional centers to bypass becoming a slave to readiness and waiting for higher level processing and executive functioning to take hold. That's not a reliable door to knock on. It's not. It is the door that we'll have to open up in order for kids to apply these skills to read and write. But it is not the door we have to take them through. So don't. Give. You don't have to teach. You just give. Just give. Just tell the story. Just tell the story. Put all the posters up. You don't have to spray them. You don't have to bake them. The beauty of them is they're ready to go. You can eat them raw. You can stick those posters up on the wall uncooked. If you have a way to laminate them, great. If you want to spray them for a glare, great. Do you have to? No. You don't have to do anything but open up that saran wrapper that they come in, stick them up there, and you're ready to roll. Even if you don't know all the secrets, no problem. Just read that red part in the book. Everything else in the book is incredibly meaty and valuable. But if you're in a pinch, read the red part first and then do it the way the 5-year-olds do. Just look at the picture and that will jog your memory about everything you need to know to get that sound. It's really, honestly, it really is that stupidly easy. It's that easy. And once you toss it out, what you see coming back to you is what guides your next step and your next step and your next step, because the kids should be the ones in control. And they will be if you just open the door, give them access, put all those posters up, and jump in. And if anybody tells you, oh, that's not appropriate, oh, they're not ready, that's not developmentally true, they're correct if those were skills. But that's what they think they are. They think they're skills. And there's the rub. They're not skills. They're things kids already know and have known long before they came to kindergarten. You're just gluing what are skills on top of behaviors. So it's not that they're wrong. It's just that it's a paradigm shift. And once you make it, everything really gets clear and it becomes easy. So don't overthink it. Have fun, jump in. And I hope that this helps. If you haven't already jumped in and you're waiting, I hope you will start Monday morning or even today before school gets out. Start tossing things out and just watch how this starts to kind of develop. And everything just makes more sense once you get that perspective and you get into the middle of it all. So have a great time, have a great weekend, and I hope this helps. Look forward to hearing more and seeing more in the group, especially this weekend, about how things are going and how your first days went back to school, for those of you who are back. Those of you who aren't, enjoy the last bits of your summer. So we're all jealous.